Hello everyone, my name is Mr. EX. I'm back with another Rome 2 replay cast, and this time I thought I'd do something a little bit special. We have a really interesting, I thought, 3 versus 3 between Athens and Syracuse, so this is definitely a themed battle. I assume this battle would be taking place during the Peloponnesian War. I think Syracuse took the side of Sparta. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think they did, so I'd assume this is kind of what we would have seen back in 400 BC or whenever it was. Today I'm going to be controlling Syracuse on the left flank here. In the middle, I think on the right we have King of the Dead, and in the middle, I can't remember. I think Swordsmith. I can't remember. We have Salvatore on the left flank here, and Headmantis here. Maybe Chaplain in the center? We'll find out the stats, folks. Doesn't matter. We're here for the battle, not for the names. Am I right? So, let's have a look at the army compositions really quickly. I'll start with my own. Why not? So, I've brought a less banterous build. Usually I go for more banter with Syracuse, but this time I decided to play a little safer. I'm not sure why. But we have the 4 Thorax Hoplites here, as you'd expect. A fantastic unit. Great morale, melee defense, melee attack. And I think they have the elite spear as well. I'm not sure. I also brought some Samurai Warriors, 2 Samurai Warriors here, 2 Mercenary Veterans, which are a fantastic unit. They're basically, if you look at the stats, they're basically like Colchian Nobles, but with a little less armor, and they don't have expert charge defense, I think, from what I remember. We have some Militia Hoplites on the flank. Militia Hoplites, by the way, are an absolutely amazing unit. They have 6 armor piercing, pretty decent amount of armor for their price. On the whole, 45 morale. It's just a really good unit, and I mean the real amazing thing about this unit is the fact that they have very heavy mass, which means that they'll take a cavalry charge absolutely fantastically, and they'll do a lot of damage in the process. So a really great cavalry hunting unit. It's a lot of fun. And I've also brought 4 slingers and 2 citizen cavalry and 4 citizen cavalry, 1 Italian cavalry, and a picked hoplite general. So very vanilla, boring army for me. Jesus Christ. Normally I bring more banter, I have to say. And then from the center here we have 2 militia hoplites screening. We have thorax hoplites, mercenary veterans, a mix of veterans and thorax hoplites. It's a very long line here. Very interesting tactic deployed by the person in the center here. And backed up by Samurai Warriors. This is a really, really dangerous army, actually, and we have some unit glitching here as well, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is King of the Dead, because this is exactly the sort of tomfoolery you'd expect from him. Unit glitching, units from Macedon, of course, and we have Thurio Spears here, which are a nice backup unit, I guess, to deal with any cavalry in the rears. So yeah, nice choice there. And some bog standard slingers. Some more bog standard slingers over here. We have 2 militia hoplites, mix of thorax, picked hoplites. Ooh, is that 2 picked hoplites? Ooh, that's quite nice. Some more thorax hoplites here, 2 mercenary Italian cavalry, 3 mercenary Italian cavalry, and Hippaeus Lancer Gen. Interesting. Okay, it seems like we're already having an engagement here, so I'm going to shut up about army comps for the time being, and we're going to see these Italian cavalry going quickly for these archers over here. But they're getting intercepted by Tarentine cavalry. This is probably a bit of a premature move here from these Italian cavalry. They've lost a lot of men. They're probably not going to rout this archer unit completely. And they're getting chased out here very intelligently by the Athenian player, by this Tarentine cavalry. And when you get chased out when you're cavalry, you lose men. No matter what the attack stats of your opponent, you will lose a lot of men. And you can see that very clearly here. This Italian cavalry is absolutely being cleaned up by this Tarentine cav, which normally doesn't have particularly great statistics. What's going on over here? So we have a skirmish engagement here. I'm losing slingers because he has a superior skirmish component. I think he has some Rhodians as well, or no, he has just more slingers than me. And he's Tarentine cavalry trying to scare away my slingers, but I'm going to skirmish down his cavalry if I get the chance. What's happening in the center? Nothing. And these Tarentine cavalry being particularly ballsy. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing here. They're about to get caught by these militia hoplites. Uh-oh, that'd be bad. That'd be particularly... Oop, and they get away just in time. They're probably going to lose a few men here. This Italian cavalry really didn't go particularly well. If they get a nice charge of these Cretans, that'd be okay, I guess. But yeah, these guys got destroyed. These archers getting caught by militia hoplites. This is why meat shields are so useful in this game. So yeah, those archers are going to die probably. So my Italian cavalry, just doing some banterous YOLO charging here, it seems. No, I'm not going to knock that over because that's really not a good idea. I'm just going to run away. Thurios Hoplites, not a great unit, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I never understood the point of that unit. They're not particularly good at anything, and they're quite expensive as well. We see a movement here from the center. These Thracian Warriors are going to do a lot of damage to the Militia Hoplites, so a nice little charge here. They're going to get a lot of kills, but he's going to want to get them out so he can get another charge before this engagement really goes down, because if they get caught by these veterans without a charge, that would definitely not end very well for them. It's very difficult to catch everything that's going on screen here. So we see these Militia Hoplites are going to try to intercept this Thurios Hoplite. They're going to get charged by more Thurios Hoplites. Oh my god, how many Thurios Hoplites has this Athenian player brought? I'm not sure. I mean, I guess they're an okay unit. They're just nothing special. So nothing happening here really. We see a main engagement going down. This mix of veteran Hoplites and the Samurai Warriors is just going to absolutely destroy this front line here. But we do see a lot of reserves here. I think I did a YOLO charge here to intercept his units, and then I move in my Militia Hoplites to block his Citizen Cavalry from following up that engagement, and then I'm going to move in my Thorax Hoplites to deal with the units that were knocked down. So pretty decent move from my part, although I lost a lot of men, but if I can move this engagement in my favor, it could be worth it. More engagements going down here. These Thessalian Cavalry, which have been glitched in, are trying to get an opening here, but we have Thracian Warriors here, which can be very dangerous. Because of their bonus versus large and their fantastic charge. Although they didn't get a charge, we are going to see the Hippeis Lancers coming in here to deal with the Thessalian Cavalry. So these guys want to get out right now, mixed up with the Hippeis Lancers and Thracian Warriors. What else is going on here? Ooh, these Militia Hoplites didn't get a great charge. They're going to get destroyed by those Samurai Warriors. And these Thracian Warriors are getting skirmished down. And they're trying to chase down this Militia Hoplite, but they're getting focus fired on, I believe, which is definitely a wise move. So this flank is definitely not as exciting as what's going on here in the center. More Thorax Hoplites moving in to take the engagement here against the General. The General's in serious trouble here. Probably he's been focused fired on, which is why he's lost so many men. But the center Syracusan player wants to be very careful. Ooh, is the YOLO charge coming here? No, I'm probably going to try intercept here of my Thorax Hoplites, although they are being focused down on. The skirmish engagement hasn't gone as badly as I thought it would at the beginning of this battle. Hippeis Lancers here in the rear, but they've got caught by Thurio Spears, so these guys are actually going to die quite quickly because they're intermingled with. And I'm gonna quickly catch this unit with my Italian so I can let my Thorax Hoplites catch up. But yeah, they're intermingled with these Thurio Spears. Well, they were. These Thurio Spears can try to get some jabs, but yeah, they probably got some kills. These Hippeis Lancers are not going to last very long if this player is going to do what I expect him to do, which is to charge in through his spears and trap them. Ooh. Interesting choice of javelin toss into the Thorax Hoplites. Anyway, we're going to see this Thessalian Cavalry try to intercept this Hippeis Lancer. They don't get a charge, which is an absolute disaster for the middle Athenian player here. And then I charged these gentlemen again so I could catch them because they just keep on running away from the engagement. Very annoyingly, here we see some hoplite on hoplite action. Very cool. My skirmishers are just moving out of position for no reason. Oh yeah, they're trying to go for the cavalry. I'm probably going to pull them back. Over here we see a charge here from the Thorax Hoplites going to catch these slingers. Oh no, these Thurio Spears. Yeah, I'm trying to support my ally here because he's gotten flanked by these really annoying Thurio Hoplites that just managed to go all the way over here. They were all around the world, just a journey of the voyage, an incredible voyage, and there were no units to intercept them because they're all engaged here. And I'm trying to help my ally a little bit here. I'm not sure if Salvatore sent any support, but yeah, I'm trying to make sure that this middle engagement goes in the favor of my ally. These Thessalian Cavalry are still alive, getting a nice little charge here into these Hippeis Lancers. Oh, and the mainline engagement here has started as well. These picked hoplites are going to do very well. I don't think they've been charged by particularly impressive units, so they're actually going to go very nicely. These Cretan archers trying to get around the flanks. What are they doing? Oh my god, what are they doing in the flanks here? Might as well have just kept them back for a late game banter. I'm not sure why I brought them as a flanking unit. These Thurus hoplites could actually be quite dangerous in finishing off this Thorax hoplite if the middle Syracusan player isn't careful. Cheeky charge from the Thessalians, but that's really not going to work in their favor. Generally speaking, these Thracian warriors absolutely clean up cavalry, even on the charge. It doesn't really matter. And my Syrian cavalry trying to scare away these Tarentines, I guess. Not sure what I'm doing. The engagement hasn't really gone down here. I've just been trying to keep Salvatore's attention while I was trying to overwhelm this flank, but I'm going to get charged here very nicely by these Hippeis lancers into a formation that's not very thick. But if I remember in this battle, these guys actually last quite long. Am I going to YOLO charge it here? Looks like I'm going to YOLO charges. Yeah, everyone likes watching a good YOLO charge into these veteran hoplites. They are very heavy, and this is only a medium unit, so it's not going to go amazingly. But it's going to stop them from getting a charge, I guess. This charge was of questionable value, I have to say. Probably not the best charge. If I can win this engagement convincingly, maybe it will be, but we'll see. So it seems like the middle Syracusan player, despite my support, has been cleaned up. I can't remember exactly what his army was, or I didn't really spot that many micro mistakes because there's just too many units on the battlefield. But how's it going here? So yeah, it seems like the Syracusan player on this flank has won his engagement though, and Salvatore, or the Athenian player on the left flank, is pulling away from me, trying to help his comrade in the center. I'm not sure why he's pulling away from the engagement because his comrade has won here, but I guess he was thinking he had some strategy in his mind while he was doing it. These picked hoplites moving in to support. I want to get a nice charge on these thorax hoplites if I can here. These veteran hoplites are getting caught from both sides here, so they're going to die quite quickly actually. Nice little charge here from picked hoplites, more hoplite and hoplite action here. And yeah, my picked hoplites are going to destroy these thorax hoplites. They don't stand a chance. I'm trying to catch these Tarentine cavalry, and I decide against it. These skirmishers are being pushed back, but they are hoplites, so I mean, you never really want to use hoplites to push back skirmishers. Although you do have some citizen cavalry here on the field, which will be very effective, especially against these cheap slingers. No one brought any particularly powerful archers in this game, I don't think. I mean, we had these mercenary Cretans, but everyone else opted for the really cheap slingers, which is definitely interesting in an Athens versus Syracuse matchup. Don't know, we just all went infantry heavy, I guess. It was real boring. His picked hoplites haven't lost a man actually, which is pretty impressive, although these guys have probably lost a lot of HP during the battle. And I'm getting skirmished down here by these archers to kill my general, but these guys have a lot of armor, so they're not going to die anytime soon. And I think I have a plan here to see if I can charge into this blob to get some of these archers here, because they seem like a pretty juicy target. So yeah, I see his Hippeis lancers turned away, and I see it as an opportunity to both get into the archers and to catch the Hippeis without a charge, and true to form I actually catch them without getting a charge here. And Salvatore gets a quick cheeky charge into my thorax hoplites, which is why they immediately get into yellow morale, because they get rear charge, so really nice move there. And so his thorax hoplites are going to do really well, so that was a really good move from Salvatore. I commended him for it during the game, I believe. And we do have to have spear support to help me against Hippeis Lancer, but really the whole point of this exercise was to take this Hippeis Lancer off the field, and it has worked, and to kill some skirmishers while I was at it. I also caught his general here, which is quite nice, and there's no spear support for the time being. So yeah, the middle Athenian player got both of his Hippeis Lancers units caught without getting a charge, which is always unfortunate with short cavalry. But yeah, I mean, at this stage, I guess you wouldn't be able to see it because there are so many units on the field, and it's very, very difficult to see how many units they have left. But I think from the power bar and roughly what units are left on this field, you can kind of see that we have the advantage at this stage in the game. I don't get a good charge here with my citizen cavalry, which is pretty poor performance here, Mr. EGX, not impressive. Not sure what I was planning to do. I think I wanted to get a rear charge into these mercenary veterans or something. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what I was doing. Yeah, I didn't even get a charge into this one. Whatever. Okay, so my general here is just beasting it up against more Thurius hoplites, although we have more support here from thorax hoplites, but they are tired, and my general is winded, and he's probably going to use second wind here at some point. Nice little rear charge here from the Hippeis Lancers, a good move there. Good stuff. And we have a little skirmish engagement here going down between the really terrible units. Always fun to watch. Although this engagement on the whole is going in my favor because I just have way more infantry to sacrifice. He's going to trap my units, and this happened because I got really complacent during the battle. I saw that we were kind of winning in the grand scheme of things. We have a lot of infantry left here from the eastern Syracusan player here. So I just got a little bit complacent. I was microing elsewhere, and I just let my units get trapped. But it doesn't matter because I'm still going to beast out this engagement because I think on the whole I just have... Yeah, I have more units here. I think this is probably going to go in my... Well, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. These space lancers get caught here by my citizen cavalry, trying to get to my skirmishers, I assume, and they try to get a little charge onto my citizen cavalry, and then I go for a different option because I think I saw them they were skirmishing into the rear of my general, so I decided to abort that target and instead go for the skirmishers to just silence them for the time being. Yeah, this Thorax Hoplite is in trouble. These sorts of battles are always very interesting. The reason why I hesitate in casting these Greek on Greek engagements is because what generally seems to happen, I know that a lot of people disagree with me on this because I've had this debate before on Discord. Well, debate. And what happens usually is you just have faction of the better hoplites will win because cavalry charge interruptions aren't that effective, and because charges aren't that important with hoplites, none of them have particularly good charges. It just boils down to armor and melee defense and armor piercing. The factors that are quite interesting in this game, I find, like blocking charges, that's one of the most interesting mechanics in this game for sure. And there's a difference between an okay and good player and a very good player, or an expert, essentially. And it doesn't come into that much into play in these sorts of battles. I mean, it does play some role, but it's not massive here. A nice rear charge here from the base lancers, getting a really cool unit. These guys. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I mean, obviously this micro is very important. It's just that specifically interrupting charges, which is a pretty major component of Rome 2's meta, is really not as important. The base lancer looks like it's done a lot of damage, but really it's not gonna go very well against mercenary veteran hoplites here. It's gonna lose a lot of men, as you can see. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the issue. And that's not to say that I enjoy barbs. I think I enjoy Eastern factions, successor kingdoms going up against each other. These are just generally more interesting, I feel. Some of that, like Swabe, is quite interesting as well because of the mechanic that you have Ariovistus and you have the lighter units. But yeah, still a pretty awesome battle. I really enjoyed that actually, and I went into the battle expecting a bit of a slogfest, but that was actually quite interesting. I really enjoyed that. So King of the Dead here, racking up a lot of kills. A very nice performance from him. 2,033 kills. Was he in the middle or on the right side? I think he was probably on the right side. Oh, he didn't bring the glitched units. It was Chaplain then. The cheeky bugger. So I wrongfully accused King of bringing glitched units. So yeah, sorry about that, King. Yeah, Chaplain is the culprit on this day. I got a decent amount of kills here. My general did really well because, I mean, I saved him for the late game and I just killed a lot of depleted units, which is always a good idea if your general works. Mercenary Veteran Hoplites doing pretty well. These Samnites not doing particularly well. Low melee defense, so against Hoplites. Hoplites are actually quite good against Samnite Warriors because they have a lot of armor, and these sorts of Hoplites have a lot of armor piercing. Militia Hoplites just supporting, doing their job. So, nice little engagement. I got a pretty decent engagement here. Supported my ally. I think I did my job pretty decently this battle. King of the Dead, really nice job of his general here. 2 XP chevrons and 200 kills. These Italian cavalry doing okay. These guys were squandered in the beginning, as we saw. All the skirmishers doing pretty well. These Samnites doing pretty well as well, actually. So yeah, really good performance from him. Nice one with his Pictal Hoplites here. Chaplain bringing the glitch units. They didn't do particularly well. I mean, the Sicilian cavalry aren't actually a great choice against Greek factions because you either want to go for the really heavy cavalry like Hippeus, or you don't want to bring this sort of cavalry at all, I feel, because heavy cavalry doesn't actually do that much damage to hoplites on the whole. They go really well against swords. But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a really cost-effective unit and they can definitely go very well. Skirmish not doing quite as well. But yeah, decent performance here. Salvatore, He's the one that brought some Thureos hoplites, it seems. Yeah, Thureos hoplites, just stay away from them. They're not a very good unit, in my view. Maybe someone in the comment section can enlighten me as to why they are a fantastic unit. I've gotten it wrong all this time, but in general, I don't think they're very good. 166 kills with a slinger unit is pretty impressive. Not sure what he was killing here, but that's a pretty nice performance. These Citizen Cavalry getting a grand total of 1 kill, not great. These Tarantin Cavalry doing pretty well. So yeah, pretty decent performance from Salvatore here. Headmantis got absolutely destroyed. What happened here? I think he was against King of the Dead. And, so, looking at his army, he brought 2 Cretans, so I guess you had a lot less infantry support than King of the Dead brought. Those Thracians didn't do that well. Not as well as you'd expect, I guess. I didn't really see that battle go down and see exactly why King of the Dead won that so convincingly, but okay performance from Headmantis here. And Zeva's Chosen Smith, so Swordsmith, getting 2,000 kills as well. Wow, that's a lot of kills, man. I think he was in the center. Yeah, I think he was in the center. These 239 kills of these picked hoplites, very nice performance of these guys. He brought archers, which is interesting. They do have the 35 missile damage, but the 125 range is quite problematic. So pretty impressive job of them. These Thracian warriors doing pretty well. So these chevrons, 1 chevron each, that's pretty nice. These veterans doing pretty terribly for their cost. Not sure what happened there. Nice kills on these Thorax hoplites, and wow, 211 kills with Thureos hoplites. That's almost certainly all skirmishers, or mostly skirmishers. But yeah, really enjoyable battle. Thanks to all the players that participated, and I'll be back with more Rome 2 replays when I have the time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.